What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Saturday, January 3rd, early in the morning. Happy New Year, everybody. Again, I realize that this is the end of Season 2. We're going to be going into the playoffs of NHL 26, but I owe you a Season 1 playoff video. Now, Nick and I did finish it in the Pro Club. We went 16-6-1 and got Pro champions, but now, as we just got to Division 5, we'll be playing Elite as far as tomorrow and through the rest of the 8 or 9 days if we can try to squeeze everything in on the weekend. So last year in NHL 25, we did not get a championship despite getting one in 24. Started this one in the first month with one. And toward the end of these clips, you will see the build I was using, what our record was, what the stats were. But again, out of the 16-6-1, we finished with 10 shutouts. And that's what it's going to take. 5 of the first 7 victories were shutouts there for us. That's what we had to have. Now, basically, what you're going to see in these clips is a lot of what you would expect. In this, it is breakaways, it's opportunities to score off the backhand. It's so predominant in this version and compared to everything else. And I guess the tumultuism that you have to understand, if you don't have a build that has a ton of speed, you're just not going to be able to get the job done. And essentially, I know it frustrated Nick and I, especially at the beginning, but you really have to have, as we've always done, I've committed myself as a two-way forward, and he's the sniper. He's got to score when he gets up on the offense. And if I can get up there off the rush, I have to score as well. Now, we've always played sixes. But the thing to adapt is on 2's especially, somebody's got to be back at all times. I've talked about it a little bit in 25. I can reiterate it in 26. We always said the bots take a step back ever more so. Well, now they're like 45, 48 overall. And it's the same thing, especially in this version, more so even than last year. The speed's going to burn you even more, and if you don't have a user back, it's pretty much all over. You're going to get scored on, you're probably going to lose the game. So we've played against a couple of teams. Despite our record, I think we're 20 games above 500 if you include the playoffs. The screenshots that are in there on the bottom right, just like last year, do not include your playoff record for whatever reason. It counts towards your skater games, but it doesn't include any of the stuff in the playoff record to see it. So, again, you had 16-6-1 to it, about 20 games over. We played some teams that are, 300 games over, lost maybe by a goal or two. And really, as long as we're not playing 3's, 4's, 5's, but really pretty much 4's and 5's on the 2's that Nick and I are on, we're probably going to win the game. That's for the most part from what we saw. Sometimes some of these teams can take a one-timer, maybe just outside the dot. Very early in Season 1, we saw a big tipper on red get a deflection from almost near the blue line, and I'm not fucking kidding you there. There has been some propensities and some problems, but it ended up working out for the most part. And our playoff run's been pretty good. Again, you have to stop people from scoring goals. We were able to do that a lot, and it really is the same way. If you're not going to see as much puck movement, it's not because we didn't try to. It just wasn't there to be able to get done. So how would I reiterate this game from 25, NHL 21, everything that started from 15 on the PS4 in consideration? I said at the end of 25, I had a little bit of hope talking about the beta. Again, I can't mention everything that was into it because of the NDA that they made us not sign, but still can't talk about it. I thought that there was going to be a little bit of hope, and then when I saw how much worse the bots are, and it happens every year despite their Ice Q and everything else 2.0, it's reiterated, it just doesn't get any better. And my last gasp, again, this is just me giving them a little bit of Saudi money off the EA that was bought. Maybe they change some of that, maybe they don't. Maybe the status quo, they just make enough money and it's done that way. But you would hope going into PS6 after a few years, maybe the RAM shortage will stop it when the consoles come out and maybe delay it until 2028, 29. You'd hope that the bots get better, but if this continues the way that it has been over the last 6-7 years and hasn't changed, I don't know what you want guys on 2's to do. Again, Nick and I have played this predominantly. You have to do the best you can with one person scoring and one person back, but that's really the only way you can win the game. And until you reintroduce match by club size and everything else, things just won't change. So I'm not really certain where to go here besides for 2's. And Nick and I are going to be honest with you. We're going to do our best this weekend to try to get an elite championship on top of the pro, maybe stack a couple of banners here. I'd like to win at least 2 more in this month run, considering we didn't win at all last year. I think it's possible if we can get the matchups, but as we've talked about, the amount of teams that are left from this game has been dwindling since NHL 15 and just continues to fade away. And if you don't have match by club size, you still take really long to match up with, and teams are just chomping at the bit to hope they match up with you on a 2 against a 4 or 5 because they know they're going to walk away with the win. There really is nothing you can do. And now with the pressure, pressure plus some of the other things that they add in, especially if you get stuck in a grudge match, non-playoff type, all it takes is 2 shots, the pressure meter's filled, and you're screwed. Your goalie's tired, or some of the long instances where you chip in the puck at the blue line, your goalie will get tired as they see the puck get lobbed in and lose about 30% of the stamina. You do that a couple times, your goalie's gassed, and then he gives up a goal just for them chipping the puck into the zone. So the pressure system, again, was added in a few seasons ago. You'd like to see that modified, especially since you know that teams are taking advantage of what they are. But basically, the only way people can score against us is if you have to back away off the one-timer a little bit to block everything else at the net, or kind of just drain the goalie's stamina or get lucky from distance. We kind of stop everything else. We do well at blocking shots. We're a really good squad, and I would have to think if we played with our same core of 4 or 5, considering what we tried to do from 21, I don't think they'd even win too many games. We'd have a losing record. We wouldn't win any playoff games. We've adapted about as well as we possibly can do. Would it be nice to have a third, as we talked about before? Yes. But unless they're capable of playing the way that we do in the system, it's just not going to change anything. And especially, as we talked about, teams that just kind of abuse everything more often than not are the ones that beat us, and the ones that try to play consistently and legit don't win. So I really don't know what else to say. I think we're about as good as we can be, but we'll see. The pro into elite, if that maximizes anything, if we can find enough matchups, I like our chances. But considering if you go into elite and it's just a fool's errand and there's nothing to be able to match up with, then that's really all you can do. So, state of the game, we kind of talked about that. The bots, we kind of talked about that. I'll mention the build a little bit before I close out this video. About halfway done here. I went with the complete 2-way forward. Again, you still get the points added on like you did last year. But it's pretty much all stick check, speed, agility, acceleration, and matching a little bit of shooting where you can. When you get more points from the subsequent months, they might be able to change some things, but my defensive awareness at the center is maxed at 95. Again, face-offs and dekings maxed at 90 and 88 respectively. And I think in this game more so than anything else, the deke move actually does work against a lot of these guys that especially have that lower awareness. All they try to do is go truculence at you. You can get right by tiptoe, no problem with the L1. Mix in a couple of dekes with the right stick as well. And I've had great success. I've scored some pretty good goals here in the mix of just trying to break things open. Again, all you're going to see is the playoff stuff. Some of the regular season things I had to wipe from the hard drive because we're running out of space for some of the games you want to install. But it's been pretty good, and I think the deking portion, at least of it, against user on user feels good. You just need to be able to bump up that bot speed, but they just don't want to do it. And again, if you're not back there, you're going to get scored on. So I'll step in here in a couple more minutes, and then we can kind of walk through the rest of the season one.
Yes.
When you intercept passes and you find ways to get your sticks in lanes, you typically find a way to possess the puck, but they've got to open it up here. This game's awfully tight.
Quick pass to Edwards. Make some space. He scores! Avoids the poke check with some great edge work.
Good one. Good one.
Oh, that's grand larceny, James. I mean, he scores! And they're on the board. Passes it over. No, he saved it. Oh, wow. He was swimming. He was out of the pool, James, but he finds his way back in to make that save. And
That's gorgeous.
Zone by Lee. The Red Wings gain possession along the wall. Moves it quickly over to Ott. Moves the puck along the half wall. Scores! And that's 3 on end. We are underway in the third. All right, partner, what's your take on what you've seen here tonight?
Washington's got to find a way to...
It's the poke to the... I got an assist for that. Great.
Magic save, and the puck moves on.
Go.
Steps inside the attacking zone down the left wing. Streaking through center, they go on the attack. Here's a short pass to Ott. Detroit's got the puck along the wall. Feeds it down low. Quick pass to Ott. And that's blocked. Ott's got the puck. Detroit's at the back end. Ott's got it in the corner. Quick feed to Lee. And he puts that one aside with ease.
Lehman's helping his team.
Yes!
Detroit's got the puck inside the defensive zone. The Red Wings carry it along the wall. Here's a chance in
Oh,
front.
20, get out of the way, buddy.
Down a great scoring chance there. Detroit's got control of it now.
Snipe it.
Scores! Well, that's number 2. Moves it to Taylor. Moves it over to Ott. In all alone on the breakaway. Stopped on the breakaway. What a save he made there.
Well, I loved how he challenged the shooter on this, James. He didn't sit back in his net. He came right out to the top of the paint and said, if you're going to beat...
Score! Puck behind the net. Works it across to Edwards. Cuts into the paint.
Oh, I love you, Nick.
Right in the
Go.
open ice. That one's picked off. Look out for the win. Score!
Yes, Nick!
Time winner. And we'll put this one key in today's game. Ott's won the draw and they're on the attack.
Yep, it's a creative name, but I don't know why you would name yourself the kids.
Angles it over to Jackson.
Well,
Solid hit on
stick
the
with
play,
it.
and that knocks the puck off his stick. He's got a step.
Yep. Warrior and backhand.
What a finish. Turned aside by Lehman. And a
Going
great
again.
save.
I'm going to join you this time.
Absolutely love this save, James.
You got rebound.
The shooters and...
What a pass, Nick. Holy fuck.
They lead it 2-0. Off the draw, they take possession. Passes the puck over to Jackson. Detroit's got it across the line. Here's a backhander. He scores! Ott's going to play it against the half wall. Takes it to the net.
No, no, no.
Beat the goaltender, but couldn't beat the post. Denies him again.
Okay.
It's
So,
in. Looked like he had it.
I mean,
To the front. And the traffic neutralizes that threat. And a stick in the lane deflects that one away. It's a contact.
yes. So despite beginning round 3 down 0-2, going down 3-2, and then winning it after that, it was pretty much smooth sailing across the board. 16-5-1 does that with 10 shutouts. Again, as we talked about, that is what you have to be able to do in this game especially. So in the order that you're seeing those screenshots is the journey from beginning to end, and then you will see the mix of what the trophy will be. Again, you got that screenshot just before, brought back into talking again, and then closed it out with the regular season stats. Again, add 16-5-1 to the overall record that you're going to see on the bottom right just shortly, and with our skater games that have already had everything put across. So pretty good stats from Nick and I. Again, we had our struggles in the regular season when you're matched up against 4s and 5s in particular. I think we had a 6-game losing streak at one point. Really didn't feel like anything was going to go right. We went from plus back down to a -3, and then through the playoffs run especially, back up to a plus 36, 35. He's got me on a lot of points and everything else. I do want to reiterate this. As far as the seasons, again, you get the 100 points to be able to spend on your 3 specialties. You don't have those extra 2 plus 5s in the mix of it. They will change from season to season, so you probably need to do a little bit of adjusting to your player type. But I will say in particular, at least for me, and maybe a lot of you as well, The Elite Warrior is nice because it shrugs off the body contact and allows you to get up quickly when all these guys are speed merchants. I think that is an absolute necessity. And the other one I say is an absolute necessity is Blue Wheels, because if it's red it costs too much, and if it's the initial gold specialist it doesn't do enough. So then I had the 10 left over that I just put on no contest to get extra puck pickups with the defensive awareness that I have, and it seems to work well. Again, as long as one of us rotates and then goes up in particular and makes the initial move or try to score on the slot when we need to in the right spots to shoot, it works. Let me know what you think. We'll let you know what happens after Season 2. Peace, guys.